Welcome to the Adulting Podcast. I'm Zack Peter, a naturally platinum blonde podcaster, author, and sassy self-improvement addict spewing all those burning questions you're too afraid to ask.
And I'm Abigail Fraher, an unfiltered boss babe, daylighting as a lifestyle guru, stirring the pot on social issues. We're here to help you look cute,
live well,
work hard,
and stay woke.
Together, let's conquer adulting.
Welcome to Adulting, everybody. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, ho, 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 bitches.
There's some hoes in this house.
There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house.
Oh my God, that was great.
Santa's got some hoes in this house. We got some tipsy elves. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, home for the holidays.
Back in Ohio.
I've been in Ohio more this year, I think, than 6 years combined, but it's great. It's cold. I get to wear a sweater, drink hot cocoa.
Do you miss LA at all?
Not yet. It's weird. Haven't missed it yet, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll come sooner or later.
I feel like unless you live here, it's a really hard city to miss.
Yes. Yeah. I would. Yeah.
Unless you grew up here, it's a hard city to miss.
Yeah. I miss like the palm trees a little.
Do you have any plans for this weekend?
No, we're doing it very low key. We're going to do Christmas at my mom's. My brother and his fiance are going to come over. And that's really it. Christmas Eve, we're going to go to my brother and his fiance's house. So it's just going to be very like a bubble, a family bubble. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, normally we do like a big, see the whole extended family, because my family's all in LA. So normally we would all be getting together and doing something, which we're not. I mean, we're going to be Zooming, but like I'm going to go to my mom's. She's really excited because normally we would go to my great grandmother's house and all celebrate together. But my mom's like excited to just like celebrate with just like the kids, like just us, which will be nice. Yeah. So the only people coming in are like me and my brother Elijah, who are the only two that don't live in her household. All the other kids live there. So she's excited to like be able to decorate her house and cook all this food. And now she has me making all this damn popcorn because my aunt
saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
My great aunt, my grandfather's sister, Margaret, always makes this like popcorn with marshmallows and almonds, and it's like crack, and it's so damn good and addictive. But like, we're not going to see her this year. So I was like, well, I'm going to make it. And then my mom's like, oh, well, if you're going to make it, then just make it for all of us. And we all have some because normally Margaret would give us like bags, Ziploc baggies to each take home. And so my mom's like, you get to do that. And I'm just like, I live in downtown. The kitchens aren't very big here. We don't have much counter. So I'm like, I was trying yesterday, like getting marshmallow everywhere and popcorn all over the place. It was a vibe for sure. But yeah, so I'm going to see my mom on Christmas Eve, and then I'm going to visit my grandma on Christmas Day.
That'll be so nice. Yeah, my brother got engaged. So we had like it was like 14 people, all family. Like my mom's family came in from Chicago, and we did like an engagement.
Aww. Like
a mini like engagement celebration, because it's such a weird year. Like they didn't really get like that time or whatever. So that was nice, like to see my a little bit of my extended family. But yeah, it's definitely different this year. I got everyone like matching pajamas because it's just going to be, the four of us. And I don't know. Make the best of it.
What is normally your like biggest worry, concern, or struggle with the holidays?
Politics.
Well, I mean, aside from 2016, this is the biggest year where politics is going to be like at the dinner table.
I know like where to kind of draw the line. And it's so funny. I was re-listening to the episode with Dr. V about family dynamics during the holidays. And it's so funny because even without hearing it, like I remember that I'm still doing some of the things that she has said, like just walk out of the room, or just, because I get very heated, and sometimes I call it like my Kanye moment, and like I will be like so worked up in my head that then I'm gonna like fucking blurt some crazy shit out and like in anger, and it's not gonna make sense. No one's gonna listen to what I'm saying because it's all just like this pent up like aggression. So I really just try to avoid politics all the way around, unless there's like an issue or a point that I know everyone agrees on, then like that's fine to bring up. But that's the hardest thing, I think.
I think because like everybody, like nobody listens with the intention of, or nobody speaks with the intention of having a conversation. People speak with the intention of being heard. So that's why, I mean, I think my favorite quote from her from that episode actually is what like her golden rule is like, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And it's like, oh, but I want to be both.
You're going to see people that that you love that you may not like. And that's always problematic. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to have a happy Thanksgiving or do you want to be right?
I like to be right.
I know. You can't have both. So, because they don't go hand in hand, by the way. You're going to argue with, what was her name, Aunt Susan that you said? Mm-hmm. You're going to argue with her. And you're going to want to be right. And you won't be right. And that's going to suck.
Yeah.
So then you'll be miserable. So you're going to have to ask yourself that question. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? And I know you want to be both. But on the holiday, it's almost impossible.
It is so interesting because it's just like everybody has like a political opinion. Like there's no way to avoid politics in 2020. Like whether it's COVID or the COVID vaccine or race or the president or, you know, whatever. Like everything is just so like there's nothing that's like not political.
The only thing we can agree on like across the board, and this is what I thought was funny because I don't know that necessarily that people are looking at it this way, is the stimulus. I think the only thing that anyone can agree on is that it's not enough money.
It's total shit.
Like, I think both sides think it's bullshit. You know what I mean? So I think that's like the only thing. But like, even that, it's like, you can't talk COVID without talking politics. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
Because everything's intertwined this year.
I mean, even Christmas is political.
Right. 100%. Oh yeah.
It's
like
so
I was,
crazy.
sorry, I'm sitting on my stairs. So just ignore me as my ass falls asleep. So I was sitting at breakfast this morning and my mom said like, Merry Christmas. And I was like, Mom, Christmas isn't till, you know, a few days away. She's like, oh, I say Merry Christmas all the time. I'm like, oh, she's like, don't you? I was like, no, I say Happy Holidays. Like,
I remember my grandma used to get so mad. She would be like, when we'd be like at Target and the cashier would be like, Happy Holidays, or and she would say Merry Christmas. She's like very much like, keep the Christ in Christmas. And I'm just like, it's not that deep. Like some people like, and when I say Happy Holidays, I'm thinking like Christmas,
Hanukkah.
New Year. Like I'm also thinking of like all the like,
right.
it's not that deep. Like
No.
not everybody needs to like celebrate Christmas just because you celebrate Christmas.
Right. Right. And I mean, most people are, but like not everyone's celebrating it necessarily like religiously. I don't know. But yeah, I would definitely say politics are the number one, like, help me.
Number one, leave the room. To get in those kinds of, that person is never going to see your point of view. Mm-hmm. They're never, I mean, well, actually, I'm wrong. Is this person that you're talking about, are these people going to see your point of view?
Probably not.
No.
I mean, I think in politics, everyone is like so.
So we're going to agree that they're in their own way, they're fundamentalists, right? They're black and white thinkers. Yep. So you're never going to change the way they feel or think about an issue. Once you understand that, you become the smartest person in the room.
Amen.
Once you understand that you're not going to be able to change their point of view, I would also suggest that we look for points of connection in all of our relationships, because the disconnection's so loud, right? Mm-hmm. You already know who you're going to go in Thanksgiving and who you're going to have to
avoid.
You know, Wonder Twin powers activate in the shape of a force field. Right? Like, you know.
It's hard because it's like you have to... You love your family, but then especially around the holidays when there's so much stress and there's so much like anxiety and all this stuff, you're just like, I love you, but I don't necessarily like you right now.
100%.
And you're just like, how do I channel my Aaron Abke, Erica Gabriel, like all the lessons that I learned this season? Like I just need to channel my mindset.
I learned so much. I just need to make sure I keep on track with it.
Replay
it's so
the episode.
easy.
Replay the episode. Start it over again.
Because my old self comes out and it's not cute sometimes.
No, I had a friend this morning that texted me and she's like, I just got in a fight with my mom over politics, something with the COVID or something. Or because we're all in California, I think they got in a fight like over Governor Newsom or something.
Okay.
And so that's another thing that, like, no matter what side of the political equation, nobody really likes him right now in California.
Like him and same with de Blasio in New York.
Yeah. So she was like, we got in a fight about it this morning and blah, blah, blah. And she's driving me crazy and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, there's this really great episode of the Adulting Podcast that I think you should listen to.
Let me send you a link.
It's called My Family's Driving Me Nuts with Dr. V.
There could be multiple truths. You can love your family very much and still not like them. You can love your family very much and still not like them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, going back to being a little bit older, there was a time in my life where I really disliked my parents immensely. And now at the age of 46, I'm like, my parents are great people. They're great fucking people. And I was able to come to that realization over many years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I was in my 20s, I was like, oh my God, I can't see these people. Can't do another holiday. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm tapping out. So I get it.
But it's true. Like, you just have these moments where you're just like you love your family, but you don't necessarily like them. So you have to avoid running into these situations with them so that you can continue to just be like, I just want to enjoy my holiday and not be caught up with all the heaviness of the fighting and the stress of it all. Because then you just like put more stress on your body, and then like nobody needs any more stress right now. And then it goes to your cortisol, and then you get a bigger flat tire, and nobody wants that.
Nobody. No more flat tires. I know. I think that if family's difficult, but you got to just focus on like the good and focus on the being together part more than anything. Like, put in a movie, watch a movie, talk about the kids. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's for every family. It's a tricky thing to weave during the holidays. I don't think there's any family that's like, oh, every holiday is perfect,
right? Without
any blow up from, Uncle Bob or whatever.
There's always somebody it's usually me. I'm always stirring the pot.
Well, yeah, of course you're stirring the pot. Of course. I wouldn't put it past anybody else. But I feel like you don't necessarily, you might be stirring the pot, but you're not like popping off.
Yeah.
Like, you're pretty, I think, well, I don't know. I've never seen you around your family, but I feel like you're pretty even keeled with those types of things.
Yeah. I know when to tone it down. I know when once I've set you off and once I've cranked it up and then you start going crazy, then I'm like, okay, bye. I'm going to go have another drink.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is getting uncomfortable.
And be like that. Now it's their job to listen to the podcast and take the advice.
Right.
I think
funny.
For me, the other really challenging part, aside from like the stress and the family, is really just like the emotions that come up during the holidays. And then I know for me, and I've talked about this a lot on the show, like how that relates to like my food and body image, because like when you're stressed, or I think one of the, like a really good tidbit of advice was when we had Shauna Faulisi on the show I think it was last December, and she was talking about the science behind our cravings and how we have like, depending on our emotions and how we're feeling, we crave certain things.
From that part was you being like, so you suck dick, you want to be loved or something like that.
So when you're sucking dick, you just want some nourishment.
Yeah, you just want some nourishment and love.
We've really lost sight of like this sensory experience when it comes to eating and dining and the physicality that comes with food. So instead of looking at things as like nutritious or good or bad, which obviously nutrients are very important, especially when we're trying to reach certain goals, but we have these really deep primal cravings inside of us and these actions. So when it comes to snacking, there's two types of snackers. There's the crunchy snacker and then like the soothing scooping snacker. So often when I'm in a crunchy snack mode, and you can ebb and flow in between both, when I'm like wanting popcorn or pretzels or that constant hand to mouth movement, it signifies anxiety, pressure, stress. And that crunching really has this biological response when we clench our jaw. So when we're actually stressed, sometimes we clench our jaw. And my Long Island accent is tough for me to say that sometimes. And, and when we clench, and often people who are very stressful and clench, like they get TMJ. So it's you can't help that sensation. So sometimes when we're clenching, we're working through that stress in a primal way that we're not even realizing. And then on the other end of it, it's the sucking and the scooping. So if you're like an ice cream person or pudding or cereal, that often means you're looking for some nourishment, some love. Maybe you need a hug. It's that very primal sucking motion of the mouth that makes us feel like we're safe. So oftentimes,
when I go on a hot date,
exactly. So if you're feeling like that crunchiness feeling, quite often you really need a hug or maybe some foods that are going to help with the soothing and the nourishing and vice versa. So really tapping into what your cravings are and deconstructing them by what that motion means will help give insight to your emotional state at that moment.
And then when you want to suck dick, it's because you're looking for nourishment.
It really actually is.
And really, when you are feeling like you need to turn to alcohol or you feel like you're having like this crazy snack craving, even if you just had dinner or you just had a meal where you're technically like not, like it doesn't make sense that you're hungry, but your hormones are probably out of whack, that it's probably linked to some sort of emotion that you're not dealing with. And like right now, like we talked about with family, like we get so worked up about these things, or we're just traveling and we're not sleeping as much. I guess not as many people. Well, I don't know. I feel like in the US, people are like, we're still fucking traveling. We're still doing our thing. We're not good at listening. I mean, I probably would travel too if my family weren't all here in LA.
I traveled, yeah.
But like there comes a lot of stress with that. You don't sleep as much. You have time zones that you're juggling with. And then all of that brings up all of these other, emotions, or it just fucks with your hormones to a point where then you have to, tune in and check in with yourself and be like, okay, what is going on inside my body? Why is my body craving this? Or why am I feeling, is it because I'm feeling so overwhelmed? Is it because another guy left me on red? Oh my God. When I tell you the universe has put me through it this past week, Abigail, tell me why there were 3. So, I'm on my dick detox. And so no dating, no sex, no boys, like nothing through the end of the year. And so I was like, yeah, I'm doing good. I am nailing this. There's only 2 weeks or a week and a half left of the year. I got this. And then all of a sudden, all these boys it's like the ghosts of Christmas past just came flooding in, hitting me up, and mostly like the guys that I really liked that ended up ghosting me. And they were just like, so, hey, how you been? I just wanted to say sorry. And I'm a changed person in 2020, new year, new me. And I'm just like, And it was some of the tougher cases came back in and like tried to creep their way back in. And I was like, oh my God, do I want to break my dick detox and just like give into it because they're telling me everything I want to hear? But then I was like, let me stop. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me check myself. It's a chopper. Let me check myself. Let me check myself and like take a beat before I'm like jumping in an Uber and heading to your house. Let me give you a chance to sober up, because usually it's like right now people are feeling, drunk and lonely or sad and horny or whatever it is. And I was like, let me give you a chance to like process these emotions that you're unloading onto me right now and telling me how sorry you are and how much you regret the way that you treated me. And let's see if you're feeling this way tomorrow. And if you are, we can have a conversation and then go from there. And of course, as fuckboys do,
they disappear. Yeah, it's great.
So I'm glad that I didn't immediately dive in and be like, yes, I'm going to come over and let's do something. Let's get together, because then I would have just been left on red all over again.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm sorry. People are shitty.
But like, whatever. Let them jack off to their Pornhub. They don't need to use me.
Right. No, 100%.
Get a blow up doll on Amazon, because it ain't going to be me. I
just pictured a blow up doll like with your like cartoon face, that you have
My
on your
blonde hair.
stickers?
Oh my God, that would be so fun to make. I need to find out where you can get custom blow up dolls done.
No, you need to. I also like to how when you're talking about snacking and whatnot, I like how she also was like, hey, it's the holidays, like give yourself kind of like the okay, not to binge, but to enjoy foods that you enjoyed in your childhood and like that take you back to that nostalgic place. Like, don't feel bad about having a cookie, but also make the conscious effort of like, I'm eating a cookie, not just like sitting there stuffing your face haphazardly.
We have this misconception about food these days where we feel like the food that we eat really defines us as a person somehow. Like all of a sudden a cookie means that we are making bad choices, and that means we make bad choices and that we are unhealthy all the time, instead of being like, this is a conscious choice that I'm making right now. So a lot of it is mindset, and my clients and I really work through this throughout the whole year because the holidays are really meant to be enjoyed. We're supposed to have fun, enjoy ourselves, and revisit the food that made us happy when we were younger. And you know, family dynamics and stressful travel that you can't prepare for. You don't really know what's coming your way with delays and such. That's out of your control. And when we have control over our thoughts around the foods that we can eat at home, it really allows for space to kind of go with the flow in other areas.
I kind of had that moment yesterday when I was making all of the popcorn and then I was tasting it as it went, and then I felt like, oh, I feel stuffed because I ate all this popcorn, all this sugar, and all this stuff. So I wasn't feeling amazing. But then I was just like, it's fucking Christmas. It's the holiday. Like, It's not, I don't need to, because when you set yourself up in that mindset of like, I think she even talked about it in the episode where she would like restrict herself because she would feel bad because she ate junk the night before. And then she'd be like, I'm going to have a good day. And so I'm not going to eat anything. And so you go into this unhealthy cycle of like this, you know, binge and restrict, and then you end up just feeling badly about yourself when you should just like allow yourself to enjoy the holiday moment and just be like, you know what, I'm with my family, I'm gonna have a bite of this. And when you allow yourself to have a bite of something without feeling guilty about it, you usually find that like you don't need to eat 5 slices of pie.
And drinking water.
Oh yeah, drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated. You don't want to be thirsty this holiday season, or else you're gonna be like the fuck boys texting all the bitches.
And that's where the binging really comes in, when we're restricting throughout our whole lives. And then one day we just can't even take it anymore, and we binge eat. And I did that when I was living in New York City in my early 20s. I would starve myself all day. I would end up going to the bodega and getting a huge thing of Ben & Jerry's, binge eating it at night, waking up to the wrappers on the floor, feeling so shameful, and then being like, oh, I can't eat again because I'm going to be good today, quote unquote good. And it was just this vicious cycle and this shame that I lived in all the time. And when we can give ourselves permission to enjoy our life and tap back into the sensory experience of food and supporting our emotions and our lifestyle, then we can ebb and flow out of different food groups all the time without having to think about it and really just tapping in.
What's like your favorite holiday food? Do you have one?
For Thanksgiving, it's stuffing. But for Christmas, I don't know if I have. Speaking of stuffing, I'm so fucking pissed because I almost lit my apartment on fire the other day because I made some stuffing after some Thanksgiving stuffing, some gluten-free stuffing after Thanksgiving, and I spilled some of it in my oven, and I didn't realize it like got caught up in there. So the other day, when I turned my oven on, it like caught flames, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I? And then I ran into the hall to like find the fire extinguisher, and then I didn't know how to break the glass, and I didn't know how to get to the fire extinguishers. Then I ran back in, and I'm like, I don't know. Do I call 911? Do I call the front desk? What's the number to the front desk? Like, how do I like get a fireman to save me?
What happened?
It eventually went out. I just turned on all the fans. I opened the window. Like I did everything I could to like, it eventually, like the little fire died down, and it was okay. I didn't die.
Oh my God.
I was like,
so what's your Christmas one?
My favorite Christmas food would probably be, tamales. I love tamales. It's the only time I'll eat a fucking tamale.
On Christmas. Does your mom make them, or who makes them?
She makes them now.
Okay.
Yeah. She makes them now, which She didn't growing up. It's funny. She didn't like even start, like she didn't even learn how to like speak Spanish or anything until like well into her adult years. So I didn't grow up with any of that really. But yeah, she like makes tamales. My grandma buys them. I'm laughing at my grandma. She's the one I see on my dad's side of the family on Christmas Day. She waited until the last minute to put in her order, and everywhere in Los Angeles is basically sold out of tamales. So I laughed at her and I was like, that's what you get. I'm going to eat them at my mom's house because she is going to make them.
Oh my God. Mine's easy. Mine's dark chocolate oatmeal cookies.
Yum.
My mom makes the best chocolate chip oatmeal cookies with like, she does the chocolate, the dark chocolate chunks instead of the chips. And it's like my favorite thing ever when they're warm. But then when they're not, I love, and this is like, again, let myself live. I'll take like 2, put them in a cup and pour a little bit of almond or oat milk on top and like crunch it up and make like a cookie cereal. It's like my favorite. It's my favorite. I called her. I was like, are they in the oven? Like when I was getting on the plane, she's like, they're in the oven. They'll be ready when you get here. Good.
Do you cook or make anything for the holidays?
I love to cook. I'm actually going to be cooking for Christmas. So this is my first Christmas home in 6 years.
Wow.
I spent every Christmas in LA, and I haven't been home with my mom for Christmas in 6 years. And so in Los Angeles, I would always be like, let me cook dinner. And like, I like to make like a lobster or a crab stuffed steak. And like, I don't like traditional holiday food. Like meals are not my favorite, but this year my mom's doing a sirloin. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have chicken for myself, but then I'm going to make this garlic pull apart bread. I'm going to make bacon and goat cheese wrapped dates. And then I'm going to there's one other thing. Oh my God, what's the other thing I was going to make? Oh, a salad. I'm going to do like a spinach, some type of spinach salad. I haven't figured out what yet, but so those are the things I'm going to make this year.
I love it.
But
that's exciting.
I don't know. How about you? Aside from popcorn.
I made the popcorn, and then I'm going to do, which I did for Thanksgiving, that was a really big hit, was bacon wrapped green beans. And you get like a little handful of green beans, and you wrap bacon around it and you put it in the oven, and they're so yummy with like some garlic and olive oil, and it's so good. And then after you said the dates,
sounds delicious.
I haven't done the dates in a while, but I always used to make them and they were always a hit. So I'm going to do bacon wrapped goat cheese stuffed dates now.
Oh, so you know who has the best recipe? Is Half Baked Harvest on Instagram.
Okay.
Hers looked, I've never made hers before, but they looked amazing. So I'm going to try hers.
I love that.
But yeah, it's great. I love to cook.
So since this is our last episode of the year, which is crazy that we're already, it feels like we just were like in studio in February getting ready for the new season.
We need like a flashback of us being like, oh, we'll be back. You know, it's March. Like we'll be back by April. Like, can you believe it? I was like, oh, it'll be like 4 weeks. Fucking idiot.
What are we, 10 months in now?
Yeah, we are.
So since it's our last episode of the year, one thing that I did last year that I thought was really helpful, that I really hope everybody listening to this right now will do, because it's super easy and it doesn't take a lot of time. But so I made this list with my friend Sabrina. I made her come over. I always make her do shit all the time. Yeah. And so it's making a list of your boundaries, your goals, and shit you want to let go of from this year moving into the next year. And so I think last year we did like 10 different things. Because normally we go into the new year and we're like, these are my goals and I'm going to find a man and I'm going to make money and all this stuff. But like, we don't really set up other pieces to help us do that. So setting the boundaries is really good and important. And so is shit that you plan to let go of, because then you can release that emotional baggage and then, you know, go into the new year with a clear headspace. So I thought it would be fun for us to do it right now so that we can hold ourselves accountable, so that in 2021, December of 2021, when we're taping our last episode of that year, we can roll it back and be like, and then, you know, it'll be like right now and when we were in March talking about how we were going to be out of quarantine soon.
Yep.
Okay, so do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Yeah, why not? I haven't started in a while since I would give you shit for it.
So what are your 3 boundaries?
So one of my boundaries is to have a boundary on what I will accept from other people emotionally. Because I'm always like so open for people's bullshit and like to complain to me, and like I'll sit there and listen to like you doing the same shit over and over again and complaining to me about it all day long, because I feel like as a friend, like I'm kind of obligated to. But that's one of the things that, and I've already started like this month being like,
nope, not taking it
how
on.
much can I take? And my whole thing's going to be, I'll listen to you complain about the same thing twice. Obviously, if it's something like someone dies or something, yeah, I'm gonna be more understanding. But personal, like life decisions, complaining about 2 times. My other boundary is a boundary for myself. It's a boundary of when I get anxious, I online shop, and it's something that I am like, instead of going straight to like Amazon or whatever, I'm gonna write down. Because I'll be like, oh, that's cool. I need that. Like, you don't need it. So instead of like haphazardly shopping, like once a week, looking at that list that maybe I've made throughout the week, okay, do I still need anything from that? Or was that something that I was just like eager beaver that I don't really need?
Right.
And then my third boundary is overextending myself to make other people's lives easier. So like at work, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I got it. Like, you go. Or, oh, this is a tight deadline. Let me do that so that it can get done. And I know it'll get done, but I need to like be a little bit more selfish with how much I'm doing.
Yep.
If I'm not getting that back. So those are my 3.
I love that. My first one is no sex unless I feel liberated, empowered, and respected. Which is basically no more cheap sex, no more booty calls, no more friends with benefits that just don't bring any value. Like that's not to say no sex unless I'm getting married, but like I want to
one night stand if you're feeling liberated, but you don't want to feel obligated to do that.
I feel like I was approaching sex less from a liberated place and more from a place of, I feel lonely right now. I feel like I need to be validated. I need to be lusted over right now because I'm feeling badly about myself. So I'm going to put my validation in your hands, and I don't want to play that shit anymore. Like, I know my value enough that I'm ready to come into this year and be like, this is a prize, okay? This is prime real estate right here. And if you're going to come in it, on it, around it, you need to make sure you pay the price for it. I'm a high-class hooker.
Yes.
Okay, next one is I won't give my energy to things I can't control, such as other people's opinions, other people's political beliefs. Like, I'm not going to get myself worked up or fired up about other people and their shit if I can't control it.
And like on that note, like expecting people to always understand you.
Yep.
Like, you don't need to understand me. And if you're misinterpreting something that I'm doing, then
that's on you.
Toodles. That happened just this week with my brother's engagement party. It's only family. Everyone had a COVID test beforehand that was able to come. And I had a person that I used to babysit for, the mom, sent me a passive aggressive DM. Oh, my friend's parents are dying of COVID not far from there. So I normally would pop the fuck off and like do a whole charade and like be like, listen, bitch. Instead, I calmly, and I wasn't going to respond, but then I was like, you know what? No, I have to say something.
Yeah.
But instead of popping off, I said, I'm so sorry for your friend's parents. However, next time when you send a passive aggressive text message without asking any questions beforehand, I said I would think twice because your perception is not actually the reality.
Yep.
And that's all I said.
Yep. Kudos to you. People need to people I think are feeling so out of control in their own lives that they feel this need to police everybody else. And it's like, just
also it'd be a completely different situation if like we talk back and forth all the time and she was like, hey, I'm concerned for you, which again, whatever. But you haven't sent me a DM since 2016.
Yeah. I only hear from you because we're clearly not that close.
Right. But again, I don't need you to understand me. Yep. So that's fine.
We don't need, we're not, we don't have that relationship. We don't need to even, if we're not willing to respect each other, we don't need to understand each other. My last boundary is I guess similar to yours, I will prioritize my own goals and ambitions over meeting other people's approval and expectations, which is really just making sure that like, because I find myself taking on so many different projects where I'm like, there's this other project where this person really wants my attention right now, but I've already committed to doing this in the moment. So instead of just dropping everything to go and take care of this person, I need to be like, no, this person can wait for an hour or two. Like the world isn't going to end if I take a beat to work on some other shit that I've already committed to, you know, and not worrying about how other people think about me for making those decisions.
I completely support that. I think those are great. I think we have great boundaries for 2021.
Now let's talk about goals. Goals and why. Because I think that's important. Because I think a lot of people come in and they're like, I want to make $1 million this year. And it's like, but why? Because you think that'll make you fulfilled? And will it really? So what are your 3 goals with reasons as to why?
Are a little broader because I do on the first of the year, I do like a vision board for my year. And then that's where I kind of break things down a little bit more because they say to manifest things, you have to be like super specific. But my goals are heavily in the financial area for 2021. I want to have a financial planner by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. I want to have a investment portfolio with at least 3 different areas of investing. To start growing that because I haven't. I mean, we're all young. Like all of us are just starting to get into an area where we're even making enough money to have an investment portfolio. But that's really important for me this year. And then my third goal is a little bit more specific. But I want to make sure that I'm spending a minimum of 10 hours a week solely on my building my branding. Whether that means it's my personal brand, or it's the adulting podcast, or it's basic AF, is making sure that I spend 10 hours and I'm only allowing myself to break it down into 2 times. So it's not like an hour a day. It's like 5 hours twice that week, or like if I sit down on a whole day off, not making other plans and just really focusing on that. Cause I think it's really easy for things to kind of get away from you, especially like with my day job and all of that. Like it's very easy for me to, I'll do it later. And then like later doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So those are the big
good.
3.
And why did you decide on those? Like what do you think, what value do you think they will bring to your life?
I think financial planner is going to bring more value to myself as far as like retirement, planning for being able to purchase an apartment or a home, depending on what city I live in. And like, not my goal is not to make any of those decisions this year. It's just to start getting on a path to a more of a financial freedom. And then the investment portfolio is, again, same thing. I just want to start building wealth on the side also, having another stream of income, whether that is investments or, putting money into an S&P for 30 years and then just growing that wealth in another way other than like a paycheck.
Yep.
Those are my, I guess, important things.
That.
Starting to think about a family.
Great. You're such a Virgo too.
I am to a T. I try to like vary from it, and it always goes back to being literally.
You really
like,
are. Because mine are like so different. So my first one is I want to enter into my first real big boy relationship because being consciously emotionally available. I think there were times where I would be emotionally available, but they weren't for the right people. And now it's like I need to be more mindful and conscious into who gets my time and who gets that energy from me. And I put my reason as because I deserve love, not because I need to be in a relationship, not because I want to reach a metric, not because I feel this pressure from society to be in a relationship, but because I feel like I'm in a place now where I want that and I'm ready for that and I'm open to it.
Yep. I like that.
Second one is larger cash flow with more different streams of revenue, which I think I was really good about bringing in this year, and I want to keep that going. But I want to get more specific and make sure that the projects that I'm taking on aren't just for a paycheck, but they are also feeding me and my passions, and bringing me joy and not bringing me headache and heartache and extra time that I just don't have the energy for.
Right.
And I put because I deserve and attract abundance all the time.
Yes, you do, Zack.
And then my last one, wow, I guess we are kind of similar. My last one wasn't necessarily to grow my brand, but to grow my audience, because I want to continue to help more people and make sure that my message is continuing to amplify beyond just my little sphere right here.
Agreed. We are similar. I think we're similar. I think we have similar, like with everything, like even when we do our questions, like things are we're very similar, but the way we come to them are different. That's all.
I agree. Okay. Last one, or what are 3 things you're letting go of in 2020?
I am going to work my hardest to let go of negative self-talk. Because I think that's a big one. Even like, it's not all, and I feel like it's always different. Like it might not even be like, oh, you look ugly today or something, which sometimes it is. And if I have that day, then I'm like, bitch, just put on some mascara and like, you'll feel
You're
fine.
good.
But I think sometimes it's like, why aren't you in a relationship? Or why, everyone's having babies this year. Like it's negative self-talk of like sometimes doubting, like if I'm ever going to have that. And I think it's really important to not just be nice to yourself, like in every aspect. Like, don't feel bad if you like splurged on something or, I don't know. And then caring what people think.
Yes.
I'm pretty good at this most of the time, but I think sometimes I let like a one-liner or like a little comment really affect me when I shouldn't give a fuck. Like, unless I would take life advice from that person, your opinion means
nothing.
0 to me. And then the last thing is overthinking other people's reactions, which I do all the time. I think I sense like, or if someone answers me in some type of way, or I say something and they don't respond in the way I expected, like I'm very much like an expectation. And if it doesn't meet that, then I feel like there's an issue. So really focusing on like, I can't control how other people respond. So however they respond, it's fine. My life's not going to change based on that.
That's good.
What are yours, sir? Because I'm sure they're just so juicy.
My first one is letting go of boys that don't value me. I always go for the ones that validate me, but I need to go for the ones that value me now.
Yes.
I'm letting go of relationships that drain me. I'm tired of getting on the phone for 2 hours to talk to a friend that doesn't want to change, that just wants to be heard. And like, look, I'm your friend. Bitch to me, vent to me. But we're not going to keep doing this over and over and over and over. Like, I can't do it because I'm not helping you and I'm not helping me.
Yep.
And then I'm going to let go criticizing my body.
Are you?
I am.
It's about time because you're beautiful.
Aren't we all? Inside and out.
But see what you just did there?
What? Aren't we all?
I was giving you a compliment.
And I didn't receive it. I deflected.
Don't pass it. You're beautiful.
I'm beautiful.
Or thank you.
Oh, thank you.
But it's hard because it's hard for me to take compliments as well.
Yeah.
And you always feel you have to compliment someone back and like you are beautiful. We're all beautiful in our own ways. So being able to just see that through everything, and it's hard.
We're so good at receiving negative feedback, but we are not good at receiving positive feedback. We deflect,
100%.
we ignore it, we, pass it on, we, turn it back around. That's a good one. Well,
That's a great one.
I can't believe
God, I think we're gonna kill it in 2021.
You know what? I'm not saying that. Those words aren't going to...
At least all the things we said can be done for the comfort of our home.
You know what? I take that back. We are going to kill it in 2021 because even this year was a very challenging year, but we didn't let this year bury us. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I think 2021 will be our year and we will kill it in 2021. Regardless of whatever comes our way. If you want to throw another global pandemic at us, bring it. Let's go.
Ready. I'm
ready. I'm going to use all $600 of my stimulus check and I'm going to kill it in 2021.
Right. Woo!
Woo! All right. Until then, where can they follow you and keep up with you?
You guys can all keep
and
up
watch
with
your
me
Christmas thirst traps.
Yeah, watch. Oh, I haven't done any of this year. And you know why? Because I'm at home. I can't do all the slutty photos at home. My mom would walk in and be like, "What the hell are you doing?" But you guys can check out last year's Christmas thirst trap at Abigail _AF.
And you guys can follow me at Just Plain Zack. And don't forget to listen to the Adulting Podcast. Go back and listen to those old episodes with Shauna Faulisi and Dr. V. Both really good. And get ready because we have a lot of really good episodes that we're planning for 2021. We're going to be on break through the new year. We're taking some me time to focus on us and make sure these goals come to fruition. And we will be back very soon. But until then, you can listen to old episodes of the Adulting Podcast. Follow us at the Adulting Podcast. Give us a 5-star review because we love that validation. And until next year, guys, we'll be busy.
#adulting.